Hi friends, it's Karina again here today. Today I'm super excited about the topic we're talking about because it involves numbers, which I wouldn't normally consider myself a numbers person. I'm not really into math at all, but this is specifically talking about royalties and money, which is numbers that I love. This is a topic that a lot of authors, I think, are getting more and more transparent about today, which I personally love because I think it shows a lot of just reality to a lot of wannabe authors, the reality of publishing, the costs, what you can expect to make. A lot of times when we're looking on social media, we see the super successful people and what they're doing. And there's more and more people that I'm seeing now who maybe we wouldn't consider, successful as in like making a living off of their writing, but who are willing to share those numbers with us. And again, I think that's super exciting. And so I wanted to talk about a version of that today, not necessarily each, like how much money I make per month or per year or anything, but I want to go into how much money I make per sale, per sales channel. Now, what do I mean by sales channel? So, I personally publish my books wide, as it's called, meaning that I publish my books on multiple platforms. And being on multiple platforms, I receive different amounts of money per book sale, per book that I sell there. So, I wanted to go into kind of how much I make for depending on each place that it's sold, and give you guys a little bit of an idea so that way if you're wanting to publish your book, you can start getting an idea of how or where you want to publish it. I'm going to show you specifically for one book. I have two books myself published, and then we have almost three books published for my husband for his pen name. I do novels, he does children's books. I'm going to go based off of my book, Blood Wolf, and that way the numbers can stay consistent. Depending on what your book is priced at will depend on the percentage and the money you make. So I also tried to record like the percentage that of royalty you make, or the percentage that the sales channel takes as their cut. So that way you can try to figure out based off of how much you want to price your book at. This book currently is priced at $2.99 for the ebook and $12.99 for the paperback on most sales channels there. I say most. It is pretty much for all sales channels. I will mention the exclusions as they come up here. All right, so we're just going to dive right into the numbers, get to the nitty-gritty fun stuff here. So again, I'm going to go through multiple different sales channels here. I publish wide. If you are wanting to publish just on Amazon through their Kindle Unlimited program, the amount that you get per page read is different than the royalties I'm going to mention for Amazon here. So just keep that in mind if you're considering going through Kindle Unlimited. Honestly, Kindle Unlimited is really beneficial for a lot of authors, but you can't always guarantee on the money that you'll make per page read because it changes based off of how many people are subscribed to Kindle Unlimited per month and how many authors are having to share that pool of money there. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, I have this video here that you can watch. But this is going to be talking about selling just the ebooks and paperbacks, not talking about Kindle Unlimited prices at all. Okay, so first and foremost, I have Amazon. That is where I make the bulk of my sales, honestly, although I am seeing a slight shift this year. I assume that it's because of some of the Amazon boycotts that have been happening. Usually Amazon is my top seller, and keep in mind, I do not sell many books right now. I am a very small fish author right now, but still, Amazon tends to be where I get the bulk of my sales, and the other places trickle in. This year, I'm seeing a switch between Amazon has dropped down to like definitely my second, and I'll tell you the first one when I get to that one. For Amazon, per ebook that I sell, I receive a royalty of $2.04, and for paperback, I receive a royalty of $3.20. So for Amazon, for the paperback, they take a 40% cut whenever I sell one of those, but after the 40%, also the printing cost of the book, so whatever it costs to actually make the book, comes out of my 60%. So then after they take their cut and the printing cost, I'm left with my royalty amount, which in this case is $3.20. For the ebooks, which I definitely sell more of, which is very true for most self-published authors, ebooks tend to be our bread and butter. For the ebook, Amazon takes a 30% cut plus the delivery of fee for the ebook based off the file size. This only happens if you have priced your ebook in the range and have chosen where you get the 70% royalty. If you are getting the 30% royalty, there's no delivery fee involved. But if you chose to get the 70% royalty rate, then they also charge a delivery fee to you based off of the file size. So they just take that out of the cut for your ebook there. So after both of those, then I make $2.04 per ebook sold. So not too shabby for the ebook, right? I'm making a decent amount of the total price there. But like I said, Amazon has not been my bestseller so far this year. So far, my bestseller this year has been through Draft to Digital. So Draft to Digital, they're a publishing platform, but they're a distributor. That's the word I was thinking of. They distribute the ebook to multiple platforms. So they're my ones that I use to distribute my ebooks to libraries. Right now, I use them to distribute to Apple Books and to Kobo as well, though most people will recommend you go direct to those instead of using Draft to Digital. You can actually publish directly on them. I have not done that yet, mostly because Draft to Digital is very easy, and I'm not making enough money currently to where I'm stressed about losing the few cents that I lose by using them. Maybe if I start making more money, then I'll worry about going direct. At the moment, it's more about making sure things are easy for me so I can spend time writing so that way I have more books to sell. So for this one, because there's so many platforms that they publish to, I didn't go through every single one. If you would like me to, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to do another video on that. But I just took the average for that one. On average, keep in mind, for Draft to Digital, also, I only do my ebook there. You can do paperbacks, but they actually just use Ingram Sparks for their printing, and I do go direct with Ingram for that because you'll lose a bigger cut if you use Draft to Digital. They take their own cut as well as Ingram taking their cut. So I only do my ebook through Draft to Digital. So for ebooks, on average, I earn $1.78 per sales channel. If it's a normal one. If it's to libraries, then on average, I get $2.80 per book sold. Now, the $1.78 was just an average. I feel like I'm actually seeing higher amounts than that this year. I just took what their projected average was instead of actually breaking it down. If I actually break it down, I'm pretty sure I'm earning more than that per sales channel, except they might be counting Hoopla. I do publish to Hoopla through there, and Hoopla is like cents for each book sold. So maybe that's where they're getting the 178 average there. Anyway, not that much, but like I said, I've been selling more and more through sales channels through them, and so that money is adding up, and finally I'm noticing it, so that's great. Next, we have Google Play Books. For these, again, it's just an ebook. Google Play Books takes a 30% cut, and so for them, I do receive $2.09 per ebook sold there. So for them, it's the similar cut that we see to Amazon, but they don't have that delivery fee, so that's where I get a few cents more. Not a big difference, but All right, coming up close here is Ingram Sparks. Now, Ingram Sparks is, again, one of the really big ones that you'll hear in the publishing world. They're really big for distributing paperbacks specifically to get them in bookstore catalogs and library catalogs so that people can buy them through there. Doesn't mean you will sell them to libraries or bookstores, but it gives the ability to do it. So I do have my paperbacks through there, not my ebooks. Paperbacks, Ingram charges the print cost, plus this percentage was a little bit hard to find. I had to do the math on it. I believe they take a cut of 1.82%, so actually pretty small percentage. But they greatly encourage you to put a discount on your books for people, for bookstores or libraries ordering through there. So I have the optional discount added there. I have a 45% discount on my books. And because of that, whenever I sell a paperback through Ingram Sparks, I receive $1.67 per paperback sold. You can kind of see just based off the numbers so far why ebooks are where self-published authors make their money, because with the paperbacks, I'm earning in general less or like just as much as the ebooks. And so more people are usually inclined to spend money on ebooks because they're cheaper. I make pretty much just as much money selling an ebook as I do a paperback through most of these sales channels. There is an exception to that rule, so you'll see that coming up here. All right, Barnes & Nobles. I also sell directly through Barnes & Noble Press. They also take, let's see. Okay, for Barnes & Noble Press, I have my paperback and my ebook through them. Currently, they take a 45% cut plus the printing cost for the paperback. So after they take their cut of 45% and the cost it takes to print the book, I make $2.37 per paperback sold. For ebooks, they take a 30% cut, and I make $2.09 per ebook sold through there. So again, pretty standard, nothing too crazy there. And last but not least, we're getting to my favorite section here. I have an online store where I sell books directly to people. Ebooks and paperbacks. I have both on there. And when I sell direct, my website host, I use Wix personally. They take a cut, but their cut is standard for no matter what I'm selling. And so it's a little bit easier to work with there. For their cut, they take 3.02% as a processing fee for anything that I sell on there. And so for that, for ebooks, I receive $2.89 per ebook sold. And paperbacks, I take away $9.70. Huge difference there compared to the others. This is why I personally, when I have links to my books, I'm generally linking directly to my store to encourage people to hopefully buy from there instead of the retailers. Obviously, any book sold is fantastic, and I'm very happy about that. But sending people to my store directly helps build up in the long run that money there, right? I have a lot less of people taking a cut when it's just my website host. Now, the one disclaimer here with the paperbacks, it seems like a way different amount for the paperbacks, and it is, but that is not calculating the printing costs and the shipping costs to get the books to me. And the reason I didn't put that in there is because that depends on where I order them from. So if I order my author copies from Amazon, they're going to be a different price than if I order author copies from Ingram Sparks or Barnes & Noble Press. And shipping costs can also vary as well. I think those just change, over time sometimes. So with those, I don't actually take home a full $9.70. You have to take out, my printing and shipping costs there. So once you add those in, it's probably very similar to the other retailers, but I still prefer selling paperbacks myself because I can give that small business and better customer experience to my buyers there. Whereas when you order from Amazon, they just get the standard Amazon box. I can package mine really cute. I can send stickers. I can send a personalized thank you note, all that kind of stuff. So even though I'm probably making roughly the same once you add in all the additional costs, to me, I still love sending people to that one. So yeah, that is how much I make per book sale, per different sales channel. Hopefully this was a little bit helpful for you to see the reality of, how much you can actually expect to make per sale. Obviously, depending on the price of your book will depend on how much you take away from these sales. But that's where I would just encourage you to do market research and see what other books in your genre are priced at, and see what is acceptable there and what you can expect readers to actually pay in reality. If you liked talking numbers and stuff, definitely let me know down below. I'm totally happy to do more videos on numbers and, book sales stuff. Like I said, I do not have impressive numbers at all, so keep that in mind, but I'm totally willing to share the reality for me if that's something that would be helpful for you guys. If you want to know more about how to actually finish writing a book and some tips and tricks there, watch the video that's going to pop up somewhere here. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep on creating. Bye.